Yes, guys. Welcome back to another stream. Hopefully, you guys are all doing well. Make sure you guys are smashing up the like button. Make sure you guys are subscribing to the channel and subscribe to Lawless's new channel as well. Lawless Live. Link is in the title. And of course, make sure you're subscribing to he's on the main channel, West Ham Fan TV. Uploaded a video this morning. If you want to go and get a West Ham perspective, jump over there. Built to everyone in the building, man. Let's get some shout outs before we start the show. Built to Jay Bleed. Big up to Joseph, Ryan GS, Base Kirby, Beyond Belief, Gene and Cappy, Connor Jackson, Formidables, Jess, Ryan, Erling Haaland, Seventh Capole, Mad Dog, built to Dave, Mr. Dutch, Nax, Geordie Toon, Danny MCFC, Jaxie, Itchy, Gurleen, Harvey Singh, Colby's ASG. Yeah, I'll be in the Toulouse kit, man. Yeah, no, it's not, you know what I mean? It's a nice kit, man, actually. It's pretty decent. I got it in one of those, like random football kit things, bro. You ever seen them? Well, like,
yeah. They're like boxes, isn't it? Like, you get you don't know
you tell them, you basically tell them the size, like your t-shirt size or whatever, and then they just send you a random kit. And it's mad, actually, because my mate, literally, before I ordered it, my mate went to a school in Moston, and one of the guys that he went to school with literally signed for the football club, and he played against PSG when they had Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe. Oh wait, no, he didn't play against them. I think he broke his leg actually the week before they were meant to play, so he missed it, which is bare unlucky, bro. But yeah, listen, big up to everyone in the building, man. Make sure you are smashing up the like button. Make sure you're subscribing as well. We're going to be discussing the game yesterday, City versus West Ham. I thought it was a good game actually. We'll discuss that, and then we'll have a little discussion about the title race as well, man. But yeah, Lawless, let me bring you into it. Obviously, West Ham perspective. What did you make of it, man? Because I can't lie, bro. Especially those first 3 minutes, I was like, oh, damn, bro. This is going to be a long day. Like, you was cooking us. Then we started playing really, really well. And then the second half, you guys came out there a little bit more. And obviously, you was pushing, trying to get the goal. Hence why we managed to get the third. But what was your take on it yesterday, bro?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I missed the first 3 minutes because I left my camera in a KFC in Barking. And
you missed the best bit of the game for West Ham, bro. I can't lie, man.
I know. I was like all the way, like just about to get on the train, one stop to Stratford. And I was like, my backpack, like, and I had to go like back. You know, thankfully, I don't live too far from the stadium, but I was like, if you know Barking, it is a rough area. So I did not expect to find my bag still there with my camera. So I missed the first 3 minutes. And yeah, come into it, and like overall, I was impressed with our performance for the game. Like we obviously we had spells where we were very defensive, but I thought we put pressure on you guys at times. You know what I mean? We made Man City sweat, and we thought about it from a tactical perspective, and it was just phases in the games. Like last season under Moyes and seasons gone, I just felt like most of the game would be us just putting everyone behind the ball, parking the bus in defensive. Do you know what I mean? And hoping for a chance or two to catch you on the break. That would be it. But we had some sustained periods of pressure. And, ultimately, you've got a killer up front. Like, just the level of clinicalness, it's scary. Like, and I know the way everyone's used the word scary and frightening in the YouTube space, but that is, like, to be that clinical. But a lot of the time I think our players, they did come from our mistakes as well. A lot of the time, like just
Paqueta didn't realize the transfer hadn't gone through, innit? He was like, I'm playing for Man City today, boys. You know what I mean? Big up Lucas Paqueta, man.
Do you know what? At the time, like during the game, yeah, like I had a lot of heat for Paqueta, but when I watched it back, that first goal, I do think it was a bit of a misplaced pass from Emerson. Like he has to outstretch Paqueta. It comes off the edge of his toe, and yeah, like Haaland takes advantage of it and chips the keeper. So yeah, like a lot of it just seems to be us. Like you have to be sharp. You have to be on it. You have no room to think about things while you're on the ball. You got to move it quick and you got to move it effectively. Do you know what I mean? And that's the problem because you'll just capitalize on the mistakes. But ultimately, yeah, I saw a lot of positives that we can take apart from obviously the scoreline.
Yeah. Nah, mate, when it comes to Erling Haaland, bro, yeah, like the chat, my chat's probably bored of this because I tell them every single day, yeah. But this is
Can you believe that people was trying to call him like at bang average like the past few years and talking about how all these
people are just like, you know what it is, bro, yeah. if Haaland was bored, well, not bored, if Haaland was playing like 20 years ago, bro, people would love him and people would rave about him and shit. But because we were in the modern era of basically Harry Kane, I'm going to throw this out there, yeah, because people always say about my manager, Harry Kane has ruined the striker position because now everyone wants the striker to do what Harry Kane does, which is drop back and play these through balls behind the defense and shit like that. And it's like, it's funny how everyone wants people to be like Harry Kane when Harry Kane's won F all in his whole career. You know what I'm saying? Actually, he did win one trophy this season, didn't he? Won the did he win that the Copper of Germany or whatever the fuck it's called? But I think did he win something this year?
I don't think he even won that. I don't think he even won that.
Oh no, you know what it is? I'm being shameless. You know what he won? He won the Audi Cup against Spurs.
He's a two-time Audi Cup winner. Wow.
Nah, he is a two-time Audi Cup winner because that's what he won. That's what he won. He won the Audi Cup because I remember
not many people can say they got 2 Audi Cups, to be fair.
I'm sure he won the Audi Cup against Spurs because he was gonna win. He was going to go lift the trophy against Spurs. And he basically, there was a clip of him saying, I don't want to lift it because it's disrespectful. Disrespectful to what? Oh, what are you talking about, bro? Disrespectful to lift the Audi Cup, bro. What are you waffling?
Oh, no, apparently it was the Visit Malta Cup, according to the chat. Visit
Malta Cup. Oh, man, we've gone down a rabbit hole there. We've gone down a rabbit hole, man. But now, listen, this is the thing, bro. You're absolutely right, bro. Like, the people want Haaland, right, to do, because I always hear people say, he needs to work on this part of his game, dropping deep. And I'm like, no. You're missing the point. You're trying to change him. When you have a player like Haaland, yeah, and he's just an elite level goal scorer, the only thing he needs to work on is his goal scoring. He just needs to sharpen it up. His heading ability is probably the weakest area of his game. He should have probably scored one yesterday with a header, but he's acknowledged that in the past. He said, "I need to work on my heading." He's never ever going to be as good as Kane. He's not going to get anywhere near Kane in terms of that dropping deep ability because he's not good enough on the ball to do that. And he's never, no matter how much he practices, he's never going to get to a decent level. So there's no point in spending valuable time trying to work on that when that's not his game. All you need to do is focus on his running ability, movement in the box, and finishing, and just refine. Because, bro, this stat here is a madness. I don't know if you knew this yet. I tell my chat every day this, and they're probably bored of it. Erling Haaland, right, is the only striker. Not the striker. He's the only player in the top 50 Champions League goal scorers of all time that has a goal per game ratio of more than a goal a game. Messi didn't do it. Ronaldo didn't do it. Raul didn't do it. Jed Muller didn't do it. Lewandowski didn't do it. But none of these elite players ever have a goal per game ratio of more than a goal per game. The only player in the top 50, the only player is Erling Haaland, bro. And people are literally trying to tell me that this guy's a bozo. And it's just like, it's insane, bro. And you know what as well, just one last thing, yeah, before you come back in, is, you know our Haaland, because he's got this ego, all the top players have an ego, right? Haaland has an ego. They actually thrive off like criticism. Do you know what I mean? Like Ronaldo, if you said something bad to Ronaldo, he'd be like, right, fuck you, man. I'm going to score the hat trick in this game. You know what I mean? Haaland's the same. If you criticize Haaland, bro, it doesn't get him down because he don't care, because he's got an ego. He believes in himself. And when you're an elite level player and you have that ego, actually criticizing them is probably the worst thing that you can do. The best thing that you can probably do is actually, you know, buzz off them and be like, oh, you're so amazing, you're so amazing. And because then they start to like get a bit cocky and that. But bro, I agree, man. I say it all the time. I think people waffle so much when it comes to Haaland.
I said on a post-match pint show, it said that went up earlier, that he is a throwback of a striker. Like, he is a goal scorer, like a classic number 9, which is what you want. Like, everyone, you know, talks about these players like Jesus, yeah, and talk about how he's great doing everything else but scoring goals. Like, oh, he's brilliant, you know, passing and creating and all this. No, like, your job is to score goals. Like you said, if it was back in the day, everyone would rave about him because that's what we looked at. No one goes back and talks about Shearer and talks about everything else he was great at apart from scoring. No, you remember Shearer as a great goal scorer.
That's actually so true. Facts.
You know, and that's the thing. So I'm tired of these modern day strikers that we talk about and we rave about who don't really bang in goals, but they're so good at everything else. Who cares? Who cares? They're up the top of the pitch to score. So yeah, man, like, he's unworried hate, but yeah, he's an unbelievable player. And yeah, he was the big difference maker. Like that is what you want, is someone that can take it. We had some chances, but the problem is, unlike having Haaland up top, we had Antonio up top. You know, big difference.
Yeah, but Antonio said he'd score 30 goals in the City team.
I don't know what.
Did you see him joking with Pep Guardiola after the game?
No, man.
Yeah, after the game, yeah, he Antonio and Pep Guardiola were like just chatting to each other, and I don't know what they were saying, but Antonio was cracking jokes, and I imagine he's probably said, yeah, actually, maybe I was wrong, maybe I wouldn't score 30 goals in there, because everyone just assumes, right, that like it's so easy to play as a striker for City, and it's like, ask Gabriel Jesus that. Because Gabriel Jesus played in this side, yeah, and obviously slightly different. It was a few years ago, and he went 9 games as a striker without scoring a goal. So, like, it's disrespectful, man. People don't understand that it's not easy to be a striker in this team. You know, yes, you get more chances than maybe other sides, but we also play against low block. Your movement's got to be clearer, and the pressure's higher, mate, because some games we don't have that many chances because teams literally sit on the edge of the penalty area against us, and you might get one chance, and if you don't score that one chance, that's it, we don't win the game, and then you're getting absolutely cooked on a timeline. You know what I mean? I remember last year, there was a game last year which we didn't win, and Haaland had 2 or 3 chances which he should have scored, missed them all. He got 0 in the player ratings, and people was cooking him, and that's the life of a striker in this team. Like, you have to deliver. But now I'm glad you pulled that up, man, about people criticizing his game, because I always defend him, but I'm a City fan, so it's pretty good that, you know, a neutral comes on here and says something like that. Was there anything else in the game that you sort of looked at for either for West Ham or City yesterday that you thought was interesting? Maybe Doku, Grealish as our wingers versus obviously Kudus, mate. That shot that he hit the post on, fucking hell, do you want to hit that any harder, bro?
Yeah, man, he was unbelievable. Like, just completely ran the show for us, and he's been doing it all season, you know, since the season started. And any threat that we was going to have, it was coming through Kudus. You know what I mean? The way he can just hold on to the ball, his strength, but his skill at the same time, man. He was a joy to watch. And I think Wan-Bissaka as well had a really good game. Like, that Grealish and Doku had a hard time against him, which is why I think we put Wan-Bissaka on the left, and took Emerson off, because Emerson is more attacking. So it gave us a little bit more defensive stability on the left, where we was having some problems, and then put Sufal on the right. So yeah, man, he's looking like a great sign. We've rescued him from Man United, rescued Wan-Bissaka, and yeah, he's looking like the player that he was at Palace. So yeah, man, I was loving that. The Bowen goal, I'll take that. I'll take it. Like,
bro, that's such a jammy goal, man.
Yeah, it was. Listen, he was trying to square it to Antonio, which I don't think Antonio from that angle would have scored. So yeah, we'll take it. When it was 2-1, I felt like we were going to get an equalizer. Like, it felt like it was coming. Like,
because we were saying, I was saying on the watch along, bro, that we needed a 3rd goal, because I felt like you guys was I don't know if you was going to score, but I felt like you create chances, and I wasn't prepared to take the risk. So I was on the watch along saying, we need a 3rd goal here. We need to, because like, you get the 3rd goal and the game's dead, right? So I was like, get the 3rd goal, and you guys were still looking threatening. You know, like say Kudus. I thought Paqueta was a little quiet, but Bowen and probably Kudus is unreal, by the way. Why did Man United spend all that money on Antony? Was Kudus at Ajax when they signed Antony?
Yes, yeah.
So why did they sign Antony and not Kudus, bro? Because I look at them, and if you said to me one of these is worth 100 mil or 90 mil, whatever it is, and the other's worth, what did you pay? 30, 40?
About 45, 40.
And one of them's worth 45. I'd be like, well, Kudus is the £100 million player, and you're joking about 45 for Antony, because he's not even worth 45, bro. What the hell is he doing? Why have you bought Antony, not Kudus for?
They are just top banter, Man United, top banter, honestly. But yeah, man, and you know what the thing is as well, like, when we under Moyes, when we were behind in games, we would never change how we played, you know, to try and put pressure on. We'd never look like the team chasing the goal. Like, we'd still look like the team protecting the lead, even though we were behind. That I saw that different. Obviously, there's a risk factor. We played a higher line, and that's where you punished us when the ball come through. But we were looking like the team most likely to score the next goal, even though you scored the next goal. That's what I want to see. Like, you're behind, look like you're putting pressure, looks like you're trying to chase a game, like there's a sense of urgency. And that's what we had. So Lopetegui, I was happy with him from a tactical standpoint. We were much better in the second half. You can see he went in, changed things up. He makes substitutions. He thinks about his substitutions, not just like for like. So I'm happy with that. Other thing I noticed, I thought Lewis looked very good. I was very like when
Rico Lewis.
Yeah, Rico Lewis. When you signed him, it weren't one that like raised eyebrows and people were like, wow, like this is going to be a great sign and this is the one, But yeah, he stood out to me. I thought he looked very good for his young age, man. So yeah, that's something that Man City fans could be excited about. Like you haven't made these big marquee signings this season, but it's looking like it could be smart signings. Do you know what I mean? It may not be box office. Everyone's talking about it, but I think might have been some thought to it, and it just turns out to be just what you need. You know what I mean? So yeah, hopefully. Oh, Lewis is from the academy, is he? Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Come through the academy.
Yeah,
he's been in and around the team now for 3 years. Because he was the one basically. He caused Cancelo to leave because Rico Lewis come in, and then Cancelo wasn't happy about it, and then he started spitting his dummy out. Hence why he ended up leaving. And he's been floating around the team. Like the first year he was in the team and chilling or whatever. And then last year, actually, he probably didn't play as much minutes as maybe he would have liked. But that's probably because of the fact that Pep felt that he had to play Walker because he convinced him to stay. And he was like, you can't really then drop him if you begged him to stay. But this year, like I'd be very clear, he's my number one right back over Walker this year because for me, he offers so much when we're on the ball. And that doesn't mean that there's not games where I don't want to play Walker. Like if we go into the Bernabeu or something like that, like I probably would play Walker, to be honest with you, yeah. But having those options and that, and like you say, yeah, we've only spent 25 million quid this summer. We bought Savio, which is 25 million quid. With add-ons, it's 33. Ilkay Gundogan on a free transfer. And by the way, yeah, oh my God, like he only played like 18 minutes or whatever yesterday, but he was mega yesterday when he come on. And then
where was Mubama? I didn't see him on the bench.
Bro, he just needs time. Yeah, he needs some. He's still settling in. It's still paperwork issues. Paperwork. You know what I mean? We got to get the registration.
Oh
yeah, all that kind of stuff. Now, but listen, I'm buzzing, man. Like, I can't lie. I've said to the chat many times that this season I'm so excited for this year because I just think like City is just on like a different level right now. And I look at Arsenal, I look at their transfer window, and I'm just like, it's so underwhelming. Like I was speaking to Potsy last night, and I was like, bro, you must be so like just fucking frustrated with your club because you're so close. Like this is the Arsenal DNA, man. Arsenal gets so close to winning stuff, and they just never seem to go that extra distance. You know what I'm saying? Like when I always say when they could have signed Suarez, remember when they could have signed Suarez? If they would have signed Suarez that summer instead of messing around with the money, they would have won the league. And this summer, I look at it, they've signed Moreno, who's already injured. They've signed Sterling, who's a backup player, and he's decent squad depth or whatever. And then they've signed Calafiori, who, by the way, I know it was only probably his first game yesterday or whatever, could have cost them a point because I don't know what he's doing leaving the ball. I don't know if you've seen it, bro, towards the end of the game. The cross come in. It's like the 93rd minute. They're hanging on because Arsenal were wasting time. They wanted a point. And he leaves the ball, and the guys at the back post are very, very lucky. So I look at it and I think, what are they doing, man? And then look at the way we play. And we've brought in Savio, we brought in Gundogan. And I just honestly think that we are clear of Arsenal. And, bro, I'm not being funny here. These next two games in the Premier League, we got Brentford next at home, right? Which, we did lose to them 2 years ago, but we should be beating them. We beat them and Spurs beat Arsenal. We remember Declan Rice is out that North London derby. The next game after that is City Arsenal. If City beat Brentford and Spurs beat Arsenal, which is not out of the realms of possibility, that's not like some crazy shout, and then we beat Arsenal because we're at home in the next game, how many points would we be ahead of Arsenal? We're already 2 points ahead. So then we'd be 5 ahead in the next game, 6, 7, 8 points ahead after 5 games in the Prem. And that is not like a ridiculous thing. And of course, yeah, it could go the other way. If we lose against Brentford, they beat, blah, 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 blah. But whatever. I'm just saying, there is a chance here, and you probably give it like, I don't know, 20% chance, 30% chance, that City could be 8 points ahead of Arsenal by match day 5 of the Premier League. And that is not crazy.
I need it. Like, if they come into this season and they end up not even being in the title race after basically declaring themselves champions at the start of the season, It would be beautiful. Like I heard all the copium. It's like Man City won't have the same hunger and desire for the fourth one. They said that for the second one in a row. They said that for the third one in a row. They said that for the fourth one in a row. Like, when are you gonna just get a grip? Like, at the end of the day, this whole yeah, they've won it. They're not gonna have the same hunger. It's like this is, like you said, elite mentality. Every competition that we are in, we want to win it. I don't care how many we've won before. We want to win. That's elite mentality. That's why Arsenal haven't won, because they have a weak mentality. Their players are mentally weak, and that's why they've bottled it time and time again, and they won't win it this season. And I would love it for them to be out of the title race, and maybe someone else challenges Man City. So we'll see. But yeah, their fans talk a lot.
Let me come to some of these super chats, guys. Make sure you are smashing up the like button, man. We've got over 500 people locked in this morning. Good to see you guys. Please hit that thumbs up button. We're only 12 likes away from 200 likes as well. So we get 12 people out of 500. Hit the thumbs up button, get us to 200 likes. That'd be great. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and make sure you subscribe to Lawless's new channel as well. Lawless Live TV, link in the title, as well as West Ham Fan TV as well. Big up to Sean P. Says, congratulations on 20 KLB. That kidnap video was hilarious, by the way. Big up, man. And yeah, that kidnap video was crazy, man. It was crazy times. That was when I was on actor, isn't it? Big up to Jack. Says, I'm a Liverpool fan, bro, and Haaland is clearly the best in the world. Mate, I've been dead to serious now, yeah. I think he's going to make a serious run for the Ballon d'Or, mate, because, you know, at the end of it, what?
He has to, be in contention. Like, he's going to keep it up, but yeah, it's a madness. And on Liverpool, like, remember Salah when he first came to the Prem? What was talking about Salah, like, and how good he was and the impact he made. Like, Haaland is even blowing that out of the water, which is we didn't think anyone would do.
Well, Haaland, is on track to beat Shearer's record in 6 seasons' time, which means he's going to break the Premier League record in 8 years. That is just insane. Because how long did Shearer play in this country for? How long did Shearer play? How many seasons did Shearer do in the Premier League?
He must have done 15? From the early 90s to the mid 2000s, just over 10 or something.
Yeah, there we go. So he done in the Premier League. He done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 or 15. And then even if you said, oh, yeah, but first division. Well, he only had 1 season in the first division where he had material goals when he scored 13. The season before that, he scored 4. The season before that, he scored 3. But even if you said, football doesn't start in 1993, you know what I mean? Well, add his other goals on, first division goals. He only scored 13, 16, 20, 23 goals in the first division before it was rebranded to the Premier League. So even if you add them first division goals on, he's still going to do it in another 6 years, 6.5. It'll just take an extra half a season to do it. So, you know, at the end of the day, Haaland is going to smash this record if he stays at Manchester City. And, you know, now that Mbappe's gone to Real Madrid, you know, this is the best thing for City. You know, I was buzzing when Mbappe went to Real Madrid, because that means that, like, you know, they can't really sign Haaland, because where's everyone going to play? So I'm actually buzzing that Mbappe went there. He's going to smash it. And there's no one that gets close to him in terms of that. Benzema, for me, was the closest in terms of that out-and-out clinical finishing. Benzema's movement in the penalty area was mad underrated, you know what I mean? Because as he got older and he lost a little bit of pace, he had to rely on, like, positioning. And I remember playing Real Madrid a few times and seeing Benzema's positioning was mad, and he was such a clinical finisher. Haaland's already got that now at the age of, 24? Do you know what I mean? So, and he's got that pace. He's got to stay fit, man. He's got to stay fit. But Haaland's now saying that he's never felt fitter in his life. He's never felt as fresh. You know, obviously he's had like 2 months off because Norway didn't get to the Euros, and now he's come back and he's looking mad sharp. So making a run at the Ballon d'Or would be nice. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he probably should have won it 2 years ago, but they give it Messi because he won the World Cup. But Haaland was definitely the best player that year, 100%. I mean, he broke Premier League records. He broke Premier League records that were there when we used to play. Was it 42 games a season? Was it 42 or 44 we used to play, like in the first couple of seasons of the Premier League? I think it was 44.
Yeah.
So he broke records when Andy Cole set a record, but that wasn't in a 38 game season. It was in the 40 odd game season, and he broke that in less games. So He probably should have won it that year, but listen, Messi's the best player that's ever played the game, in my opinion, and he won the World Cup. So I remember saying at the time, I wasn't that arsed about that because, you know, I can accept that one because it's Messi.
Yeah.
Big up to Sean, big up
It's
to Jack.
that he could have played for England, though, Haaland. Like, he was eligible to play for England. Imagine. Obviously, Southgate tax, you know, that would have held him back, but obviously,
yeah, it would have definitely held him back.
I don't know how that would have went, like Haaland under Southgate, but man, if Haaland played for England, England would have won something by now, without a doubt.
Yeah, it's actually mad as well, you know what I mean? Because that's probably the next step for him now is to do something with the international team. Because, you know, you look at Norway now, yeah, and obviously Norway didn't get to the Euros, but you know, they've got Haaland, they've got Odegaard, they've got Oscar Bob, who's coming through at City, who's unreal talent. They've got that Van der Berg, they've got other players. And I'm like, that's the next step now. He needs to progress. Obviously not win anything, like that's a bit unrealistic, yeah. But he's got to be able to, him, Odegaard, Bob, and the rest of them have to be able to get Norway to a major tournament. I think that's the next step for him. Obviously, as a City fan, I'm kind of like, no, I keep not going to the tournaments because it's better for us, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's good for Man City. They need
to
do international transfers, like if a player is eligible. So England could pay Norway a load of money and get Haaland, like, you know what I mean? Like, for eligibility. I'm not saying, you know, get Messi to play for Ireland or something, but like, yeah, I think they should do that. You know, because like I said, if he's not gonna, it's a shame because Norway's never gonna. They may qualify, but they're never gonna really challenge for an international trophy, and that's a real shame.
Unless they get like a mad, like golden generation, you know what I mean? That's what they need. And obviously, maybe they are getting one with Odegaard, Bob, Haaland. They just need a couple of defenders, maybe, and then they'll be there. But listen, let me. Oh, by the way, big up to Sean, big up to Jack, big up to Darcy as well for the super chats. Make sure you're smashing up the likes, guys. What's your take then on the title race? Do you think City are clear of Arsenal and Liverpool? Do you think maybe people are disrespecting Liverpool a little bit because they've had a bit of a decent start? I know they played today, obviously against United, going to do a watch along for it, but. You think maybe Liverpool could actually be better than everyone thought, and where you see like how high do you see City compared to the other two? Do you think it's close? Do you think because I think there's a bit of a gap actually this season, but like what's your view on a title race, bro?
Yeah, I do think Liverpool are dark horses. Like from what I've seen so far, it seems to be that they're just sort of picking up where they left off under Klopp. Like that Slot's not tried to come in and change too much too soon. I need to see more though. Like I need to see more from this Liverpool team before I can really say they're going to challenge. And Arsenal, yeah, you know, like I said, they've got a very good team. But even you take away all the controversy from the Brighton game, they still didn't look great overall. So I do think that there will be a gap. Again, it's going to depend on injuries, all of these things, right? We can't predict for that. And then there's going to be more games in the Champions League with this new format as well. Mm-hmm. So I think squad is going to come into it, right? And what they've got. So I'll be very interesting to see how each team adapts because, you know, touch wood, Man City don't get any injuries. But if you do, two key players, Haaland, you know, De Bruyne, for example. I know the guy on our fan cam was like, without Haaland and De Bruyne, you wouldn't get top four, but that was crazy.
I'd seen that. I was just, you sent it last night, and I was like, does this bro not know that we won the league when Kevin De Bruyne was injured for the full season, and also we won the league with a false 9?
Yeah, he was like going through the players that wouldn't get into our team, like all the players, and said,
what players wouldn't get in the West Ham team? What
was it he was saying? He said Alvarez would basically get in. He said Alvarez, Wan-Bissaka, Kudus, Bowen would all start for City, basically.
Wan-Bissaka definitely would 100% not start for Pep Guardiola. No, he would not start for Pep Guardiola. Alvarez potentially, I like Alvarez. I said to spare times, I actually think Alvarez is a mint player. He could potentially do the CDM role in our team over maybe Kovacic as
another DM that was at Ajax that Man United didn't get, and they got Amrabat. You know what I mean? Like, that is hilarious.
Yeah, that's and to be fair though, no, but we've discussed this, innit, on Potsy's channel. Your front three, like not your striker at the moment, although like Fulkrug, I want to ask you about him in a minute. Your front three of Kudus, Paqueta, and Bowen, that is a Champions League front three. Like no one can tell me that's not a Champions League front three. Paqueta is an absolute baller. Kudus is unreal. Bowen for me is the one where like I'm interested to see what level he's at. Could he do it in a Champions League? But as a 3, bro, that is a mad front 3, man. Like that is a top front 3. So like, yeah, maybe they get in the squad 100%. But yeah, Alvarez probably is maybe a backup DM, but yeah, not Wan-Bissaka, bro. That guy must have been smoking something there. He's not getting in our team. No way.
Yeah. He was, it raised eyebrows when I was filming it. So, but yeah, man, it's like, I can't remember how I got onto that, but yeah, it's one of them ones. But yeah, like I said, I think, yeah, we've got a good squad. I'm happy with the squad that we've built. I would have liked a striker. John Duran is looking like a big miss for us at the moment. Like
we were linked with him as well, John Duran. I'm surprised that no one went for him. But you got this. Let me ask you then, because you're speaking about strikers. Let me ask you about this full crook here, because I'd seen this guy at Dortmund last year, the Champions League. I watched quite a lot of Dortmund games last year, and I thought this guy's a real player. Right? I thought, who's this guy? I never really heard of him, to be honest, before. And then last year, I just seen him like he seemed like an old school physical number 9 with a decent eye for goal. And then in the summer, I seen that you guys signed him. I was like, wow, that's a massive coup for West Ham. That's going to be like, put him into, basically you want to utilize him a little bit like Haaland in the set. Maybe not runs, because I don't know how much pace he's got, but like get him in the box and create chances and he'll score goals. How come he's not started a game then in the Premier League yet? Because I'm pretty sure he's come off the bench now in every single game. Is he just is Lopetegui just taking his time with him? Like or is he going to be a backup? Like what's going on here, bro? Because we played 3 games and he's played 63 minutes in total. He's only started the Carabao Cup game. Like what's going on here?
Yeah, I think with a lot of the strikers, like the signings, like Todibo, Fulkrug, and that, he's looking at players obviously that have had full pre-season with West Ham, and he's prioritized players who had a full pre-season and tried to get the new signings up to speed. This game in particular, he did start against Bournemouth, but this game I think it was tactical, because I just think Antonio is a much better fit for this type of game against Man City, where you need
running the channels and that.
Yeah, running the channels, trying to create your own chances, carrying the ball, that sort of thing, running behind. Whereas, Fulkrug, like I said, he needs chances created for him, right? He needs link up. And they're going to come few and far between against a team like Man City. So I'm expecting him to start to come into starting. So maybe Fulham, the next game we play, he could be starting then. I wouldn't be surprised. But we have to be sensible. We've had the Halers, we've had the Skamakers and players like that we've just signed because they score goals, but we don't play to their strengths. Now we need to, have a player like Fulkrug. We have to play to his strengths, otherwise it's a waste of time. I give up when it comes to strikers. I've seen so many strikers signed at my club that bang goals elsewhere that just don't work out. We've got Ings, who's just we can't even get rid of now. We paid top money for him.
There was people in my chat saying we should sign Ings as a backup striker.
Oh, please. Honestly, let's just do it, man. Like Ings, who knows? Like, if think about it, like because Ings is a goal scorer, yeah. Ings is a goal scorer. He can do it. If you've got Haaland, everything's set in for Haaland. Like, and you've got Ings, who could score like half the goals of Haaland with the chances.
I can't believe you're doing this, bro. It's so shameless.
Come on, like
no, man.
He's that guy. Like
he's not that guy. He might have been that guy 15 years ago, man, but he ain't that guy no more.
If Haaland gets injured, who's starting up top?
No. And that's for us, that's our biggest risk, because if he does get injured, we have to go to a false 9 system, right? Unless Mabana actually comes in clutch. But it's going to be false 9. But, the thing is for me about this whole false 9 system is, one, we have actually won the league with a false 9 system. So we proved that we can do it. The question will be, can we go from striker to false 9, in a space of a week? Because obviously false 9, we played that for the season, right? Can we do that? Like just change it overnight and then be clinical and actually win the games? I think for me, if it's just a 1 or 2 game thing, I think we will be fine. If Haaland gets injured for maybe 2 to 3 months, will that come in? I don't know. But that's where, for me, the signings are like Doku and Savio are so important, because if we're playing false 9, I don't really want to be playing Grealish and Bernardo as my wingers, because they don't score or assist, right? Not normally, although Bernardo was excellent yesterday. You need players who can chip in with goals. So you need your Gundowans, you need your Savios, you need Doku, who's more likely to get a goal or an assist than sort of like a Jack Grealish. So for me, that is probably the biggest risk, because CDM position, if Rodri gets injured, still not fully sorted, but Kovacic is actually showing like he might be able to do it. Gundogan has done it in the past, a lot, and he's proved, but he's a bit older now. Can he do it? Don't know. I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be all right this season if Rodri gets injured. The Haaland one for me is the major. If he gets injured, do we have the personnel in there to do it? But we have Foden who's done it before. You can play Kevin De Bruyne as a striker. Oscar Bob, when he gets back from injury in December, he should be able to do it as well. But that is probably our biggest vulnerability. If you say what's his biggest vulnerability this season, I'd probably say if Haaland gets injured, then that's where we become weak, because Haaland just destroys games. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like games that, like, if he didn't play yesterday, maybe it's 2-1 to City, maybe it's a 1-1. I don't know. But because he's in the team and he has an unreal conversion rate, he makes games look like, oh, City absolutely destroyed that team. And it's like, well, we didn't really. We created a few chances and Haaland just bagged them all. But that's Ronaldo would have been the same. Messi would have been the same. These elite level goal scorers, they just kill games off and make it look like City have just battered the team. And obviously yesterday in the first half, we did play very well. I thought it was excellent. But the scoreline sometimes doesn't always reflect what actually happens when Haaland's on the pitch, because he's so clinical. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it. And that's because that's the thing. I came away from it feeling like it didn't feel like a 3-1 game, but that's what happens when you have a killer. And I think Ings is that guy, but we'll see. January is coming round. We may talk.
Big up to Stumpy as well for the super sticker. I appreciate that, man. Cheers for the support, guys. Make sure you are smashing up the likes as well on this stream. We got over 850 people tuned in. Let's see if we can get the likes to 300, guys. Make sure you are smashing that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and subscribe to Lawless as well. All right, and so before we finish off, bro, let me speak about West Ham a little bit to end the stream. What's your sort of ambitions this year, man? Because I feel like West Ham, and we've had this sort of conversation before in the past. You're a weird club in the sense that, like, you should, for me, be in Europe, yeah? Whether that's Conference League, Europa League, probably don't have the full firepower yet to be Champions League, although we've discussed your front three is, in my opinion, Champions League worthy. What is the aims of West Ham? What are the goals for West Ham this season? Is it to get back into Europe? Is it to try and win a domestic cup? Is it more like you want to see a better brand of football? You want to see a better style of football? Or like, talk to me. What's going on, man?
Yeah, well, I had 3 requirements. One of them is very unlikely now, which was one of them was to get more youngsters into the team. Most of them have gone out on loan, so I can forget about that. It was to. I think we should at least be challenging for Europe first season under Lopetegui, like trying to compete to get into those places. Even if we narrowly miss out, I want to see we can build on it next season. And then, play better football, but try and be more competitive in games, which we saw against Man City yesterday. So, for me, Europe is something we definitely want to be aiming for. I'm very impressed with the business and the level of players we attracted, considering we had no Europe this season, right? But we have to progress. We have to try and get Europe, even if it is Conference League again. We get back in the Conference League, we win that, which other teams are finding out that it's a lot harder than it looks in that competition, yeah? I said it. Billy. And do you know what? That's why part of my ambition is to not be in a race for Europe, so I have to go back on that show and have Billy just fry my brain with his delusions. Never seen a more delusional Villa fan.
Bro, the City fans had a little bit of beef at one point with him because of the Konsa shout when he said Konsa's the best English defender.
Yeah.
This was when John Stones had just won the treble with City and like was one of the best players in the Champions League final. He was like, Konsa's the best English defender.
Do you remember when he was so outraged when we did Team of the Season that people was putting Haaland in over Watkins? Like it was the craziest thing you could possibly do. Like we were all mad to put Haaland in Team of the Season over Watkins.
Yeah, that was
wild. Man. So I think we'll be in that race this season. I want to see more from us. We've had a tough start for Lopetegui's run. You know what I mean? Villa at home, Palace away, which has always been a difficult ground for us, and obviously Palace ended the season really well. And then you guys, And then we've got Fulham, Chelsea, Spurs coming up. So, yeah.
So, you lost 2-1 at home to our late goal as well.
Yeah.
I remember watching that. Oh, yeah, I watched that game because Onana scored off like a corner or some shit like that, didn't he? Early on. And then what else you got going on here?
Oh, yeah,
so
we got Chelsea, Brentford.
We
we don't leave, apart from Liverpool in the Cup, we don't leave London until November. Like, all our games are in London for the first, 2 months.
Fulham, I like Fulham. I think they play some decent football under that manager, but like you want to be going there trying to win. Chelsea are a bit mad. You don't know what's going to go on there with Chelsea. They could be trash and you could smack them up 3 or 4-0, or they could just be amazing and Cole Palmer.
We've got a decent record against them at home as well. Really have, like, Brentford.
There are definitely points there, though, aren't they, for you? Like, you can see points there,
Brentford, Ipswich, Fulham. You know what I mean? And then the Chelsea Spurs ones. They're always 50-50s, those games. And Man United at home, we've got a very good record against them at home.
Yeah.
Forest away, like that's a decent run. That's a decent run in Everton at home. They're awful. Newcastle away, Arsenal at home is where it gets sticky. But if we can collect a decent amount of points up until then, you know what I mean? There'll always be one we expect to win and we don't win. Anything can happen. But yeah, man, like come end of September, mid-October, I expect us, and I hope I see us in those European positions, in and around those. You know what I mean? Let's make up some ground.
Like I say, for me, bro, I think a club like West Ham, the size of West Ham, the players that you have now, you should really, in my opinion, be aiming to get back into Europe. Whether that's Europa League or Conference League, like obviously you'd rather it be Europa League, but like I think because you've not been in Europe that consistently over like the last decade, I don't really think it's that important to be like saying, it has to be Europa, it has to be this. Like I just think for me, just getting back in there, getting the club constantly in European football, because you know what everyone always said, it's like, oh, how will the club deal with European football this year? Aston Villa are getting it now, yeah. Newcastle like last year, like how will the squad cope? But if you can be a club that is constantly in Europe, eventually the club will get to a point where it can cope and it's got the squad and it knows little tricks of the trade on, like, maybe we'll rotate here rather than rotating there, and like you get used to it. So
it's mad. We have now built a squad, right, that can compete on multiple fronts. We've got squad depth. Moyes liked a small squad. So for 3 seasons in a row we was in Europe, we had to play near enough the same team in both competitions. There was like rotation in the early rounds. But for the most part, we was playing like near enough the same team Thursday, Sunday, because Moyes liked a small squad. Now we've got Lopetegui, who likes a bigger squad, and Europe we're ready for. You know what I mean? So we can be in Europe and go deep in Europe without having to sacrifice the league.
Yeah, no, for real, man. It'd be interesting to see what goes on. Listen, big up for coming on. Big up to Exploit said, have you seen Gold Bitch crying? Yeah, I did, because Jess in the chat sent me a message yesterday and said she didn't say do a reaction, but have you see what Gold Bitch is saying? So I thought, you know what, let me do it then. Very strange. Have you seen the red card, by the way? I'm not supposed to. Did you see the red card incident yesterday?
Yeah, I did see it.
What's your view?
Yeah, I've had Arsenal fans in my mentions since I tweeted about it, like when it happened, and it's just constantly my notifications going, because you say anything about Arsenal, they'll come for you. Listen, it's one of them. Like I can see why they feel upset that it happened, but it's a second yellow. Like they're supposed to be cracking down on delayed restarts. They've said it this season. They tried to pull
3 weeks ago, apparently. 3 weeks ago, Howard Webb told everyone.
Yeah, exactly. But they're trying to put this clip out on Twitter now of Rice doing it when he was at West Ham against Arsenal, going, "Oh, look, it's the same player." And look, that was 2 years ago.
Yeah,
this is a different season. They said they're cracking down on it this season. And that's what they've showed you is he knows what he's doing, Rice. He tries to be sly about it. Do you know what I mean? He's trying 100%. To be a little bit sly about it. The first yellow card was completely reckless, and now this one was just stupid. He shouldn't have put himself in that situation anyway. He should be, because if he wasn't trying to do it, after that foul, he'd be jogging back and getting into position, right? He'd be trying to go back and get into his position and get ready to defend against this free kick. But he didn't. He slowly walked blocked the way.
Yeah, he done it, man. And this is the thing, yeah. People keep on going, oh, well, he only kicked the ball away a yard. It's irrelevant. He only kicked the ball away a yard. He stopped the guy from taking the free kick. And then they go, they like skip into the future and go, yeah, but the ball was rolling, so it wasn't a real. Yeah, but he didn't kick the ball when it was rolling because Rice kicked the ball away. If Rice doesn't kick the ball away, and then the defender takes the free kick when the ball is rolling, the referee can stop the free kick and say, take it again because the ball was rolling. It's irrelevant. That whole phrase, the ball was rolling, so it doesn't. No, that's irrelevant because we never got to that point in the first place because Declan Rice kicked the ball away. Declan Rice doesn't kick the ball away.
The rule says nothing about the ball rolling, yeah. And I actually tweeted this out, the actual rule, because I had so many Arsenal fans in my mention going, the ball was rolling. And it says when it comes to time wasting, any attempt at time wasting will result in a mandatory yellow card. This will include kicking the ball away, walking, running off with the ball, interfering with an opponent, taking a free kick, etc. Nothing there does it say only if the ball's stationary.
Yeah,
all this ball moving, ball rolling.
I think honestly, Arsenal was weird yesterday, man. They was kicking shit out of the Brighton players. You know what I mean? I did a watch along for it, and I was like, what the hell is going on here? What's wrong with these assholes? And then no one's even speaking about the first yellow card. No one's not. Hey, look at Daniel, bro. Rattled much. No one's even speaking about the first yellow card. There was actually no need for Declan Rice to get the first yellow. Very strange performance yesterday from Arsenal. And if they finished the chances, which is what Pop said on his AFTV, Cat Van Cam, they would have been winning 3-0 at half time. You know what Arsenal fans do? They never put responsibility onto their own team or their own players or anything. It's always someone else's fault. Newcastle away last year, they lost 1-0. It's the referee's fault. It wasn't the fact that they dropped an absolute stinky performance. And yesterday, they should have been 3-0 up at half time because they had the chances too. They didn't, and that can happen. And whether or not you agree with the red card, I think it's a stonewall red card personally. Whether or not you agree with that, at the end of the day, we all know the referees in this country are trash anyway. So you shouldn't leave it up to the referee to screw you over if you think that you have been screwed over. Yeah,
Lee Judges I see on Potts' channel said that referees ref Arsenal different to other teams, which is absolutely ridiculous. Tell that to Bournemouth, who've been screwed over multiple games.
Or Wolves last year.
Yeah, Wolves last year. It happens to everyone. You're not special. There's no conspiracy to stop Arsenal doing it. There's been so many results that happen in Arsenal's favour, but they don't talk about that. They blank that out their mind. When it happens in their favour, it doesn't exist. You know what I mean? They look at everything and that goes against them, which is, it's just they're in their own bubble, man. So they always want an excuse. And that's why they don't win, because the players, I think the mindset comes from the manager, comes from the players, comes from the fans, it's hard done by here. It's a disgrace. It's an absolute disgrace.
Disgusting.
That's their mindset.
Nah, facts, man. Facts. Big up to Darcy as well. Says if we go for another striker, Openda is a guy. Openda's decent, Openda is decent.
He's no wings.
He's no wings. Big up, man. Big up to Sean. Big up to Jack, Darcy, Stumpy for the donations on the stream today, guys. Make sure you are smashing up the like button. Make sure you're subscribing. Subscribe to Lawless Live TV. The link is in the title. You had a review video up there last night, so go check that out, guys. If you want to go and look at that. He'd also done a video on the West Ham Fan TV channel that went out this morning, post-match pint. So you can go watch that as well if you want. Got anything else coming up on the channel, bro? Or is it just obviously international break now, isn't it? So it's a bit
it's international break. So I'm trying to going to put some content, keep it ticking up. I did film some stuff with Potts the other day at the Emirates, so we're probably going to put some of that out. We did some combined 11s and some debates about Arsenal. So you want to see me cooking Arsenal? Stay tuned.
Yeah, big up, man. Big up. Listen, guys, I'll be back around 3:30, 3 o'clock for the Liverpool versus Man United game. It's at Old Trafford, actually. It'll be on the second channel. So what I'll do, because I know a lot of you are not subscribed to the second channel, I'll redirect you over there now. You can subscribe and then obviously come back later when I go live around 3:30. And then I've got a panel show back on this channel tonight with a lot of City fans. So big up Lawless for jumping.
What's your prediction for that one out of interest?
You know what? I think Liverpool are going to do a lot better than I initially thought this season. I still think they'll probably finish third, but there is a chance that actually they might finish second above Arsenal. I agree with you with what you said earlier. You made a comment that you think Slot isn't changing too much too quick, and yeah, I feel like they're going to do a little bit better than initially thought. So I think Liverpool will win the game. United are just shit, mate. Like, I'm not being funny. I'm not saying that because I'm a City fan, bro. I watched the 2 games. I watched the Fulham game that they won. They were crap.
Do you remember we was in the chat in the terrace chat with Staffy and Terry, and they was in defense mode, and everyone was like, "You ain't looking all that."
No. Like it was the exact same performance that I've seen loads of times last season. They were rubbish against Fulham. They weren't good against Brighton either. Now maybe they'll pick it up. They're at home, you know what I mean? They can't really be dropping stinker at home to Liverpool. But I just think Liverpool will be too clear. And who scores the goals for United? They've got no one that scores goals. And Liverpool have Salah. And whilst Salah's still at that football club, I just think Salah, man. You know what? Salah, yeah. I started to appreciate him even more over this last season or two. Because like when you put numbers out constantly, I don't think he's naturally a good footballer. I think he reminds me of Carlos Tevez. You know what I mean? Like, Carlos Tevez was not a clean footballer. Obviously, he played for West Ham as well. But, like, the guy just got goals, yeah? Like, but he wasn't like a Aguero where he was, like, silky with it. He was just like a brute force player where he'd just get the goals. And I find Salah's very much like that. But when he puts numbers out constantly, every single season, over the last 18 months or so, my appreciation of Mohamed Salah's gone way up there.
Yeah, a lot of people thought it'd be a one-season wonder. Like after the first one, when he put the first numbers out, no one thought he would be consistent with it, and he has. So fair play to him. And yes, this fixture has been most of the time, apart from last season, most years it's a very boring game.
Yeah,
Man United. We go into it with all the hype, and they talk about the rivalry and the tradition of it, and it hypes up to like insane levels, and it's like 1-1 or 0-0 or something. But
yeah,
this one, I think it should hopefully be a good game. I think Liverpool will edge it though. Like I'm not been impressed with Man United. Maybe they'll turn up for this one. We'll see. I don't know if Ugarte will start, but yeah, man,
It says here on the history, that Liverpool haven't beaten United at Old Trafford since 2021.
Oh, really?
Yeah, last year Premier League 2-2, FA Cup United won, didn't they? Remember the Amad Diallo goal? 2022 United won 2-1. You have to go back to 2021 when Liverpool last beat them at Old Trafford with a 5-0 win.
It's not that long ago, to be fair. Like when we hear some of these stats,
it's not that long ago. But they haven't won there in the last 3 attempts. They've not won there.
New manager, new Liverpool. We'll see.
But I do think Liverpool will win. I think Liverpool will win. I think it could be like 3-0, bro.
Really,
bro? I do not think United are good at all. I genuinely think that FA Cup win in the final against us and that new contract has just kicked the can down the road. I'm absolutely certain that he is a fraud as a manager. I'm absolutely certain of it. No winning against us in the final in the FA Cup, no new contract is changing my view that he is a fraudulent manager and that in within a year he will be fired.
But you know what he said? Didn't he come out? He said, apart from Man City, no team in this league has won more trophies than Man United in the last 2 years.
Yeah, but the thing is as well about that, like, I don't know if I'm going to say it, but like at the end of the day, it's irrelevant because he won it. In that final against Newcastle were the better team, but he won the trophy, so it doesn't matter, And against us, man, our team was pissed, mate. Our team was drunk when we played that game. And Pep kind of fucked it. He was too sentimental in that game. He put John Stones in when John Stones should never have played the match yet. He made too many changes. So, listen, at the end of the day, he still won it. You can't take that away from him. But I do feel that, like, they have just kicked the can down the road. And I think Liverpool will win. I think they could score a few goals, 3-0. And I think the pressure. I'm waiting for that Ten Hag because, when United fans get toxic and they start doing that Ten Hag in, Ten Hag out thing, it is entertainment. Bro, I can sit here for hours with my popcorn, feet up on my desk, Saeed on one TV, Rants on the other TV, you know what I mean? Whoever else, you know what I mean? Go bitch on the other hand, just, eating the popcorn.
I was on Saeed's channel. We was all saying to Saeed, like, he's like, oh, I'm behind it this season. I said, how long before you start calling him a board fraud? How long is it going to be? It's ball fraud.
Yeah,
Him, man.
when Nuruddin next to him, that was the funniest thing when he called him a bald fraud and his bald mates and that right next to him. It's just like, oh my god, that was funny. Right, big up everyone, man. We're gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna send you over to the second channel, More LB, because I know not a lot of you guys are subscribed to it because I'm doing the Liverpool Man United game watch along on that channel today because I've got the panel show later back on here. So I'll redirect you over there now. Just subscribe to it real quick, and then I'll see you later in a few hours. 3:30, I'll be live. Make sure you sub into Lawless Live TV. Link in the title, and guys, we'll catch you in the next one. Peace out, people.